Hello, my name's Sylvester McCoy. Welcome to the legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, fellow Whovians. Greetings, one and all, to the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and tonight we are celebrating our 20,000th subscriber to our YouTube channel. I can't believe that. 20,000. I mean, I was happy when we got 20 at one point, but we are now celebrating, as you can see in the banner, 20,000. We want to thank you all for getting us that number, and we may have a little bit of a special surprise after that, because something happened while we were getting ready for the show out here. So tonight it's going to be Ask Us Anything. I actually gave everybody time off. Hang on one second there. Sorry about that. We're just having little technical issues, but we're working it out there. I actually gave the night off to everybody. We were supposed to be reviewing Star-Crossed, but I think they've earned this little rest out there. So tonight, everybody, we're just going to be celebrating our 20,000th subscriber. And good news is that some of them wanted to be on the show still. So let me go ahead and introduce our panelists, and I'm going to introduce our special guest for tonight. We're going to start it off with the Reverend Amagon. There he is. How you doing, Tasty Cakes? Tell me your audio is working, dude. Oh, he's freezing up out there. Tom, can you hear us okay? You got your audio going?
Oh,
There There we go.
Oh, God. But I'm
Take a deep
here,
breath, brother.
and that's what matters.
That's all that matters. Yeah, I'm glad you are showing up for our 20,000th subscriber. How are you doing, my friend?
I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me running?
I think there's a bit of a delay. I think there's going to be a bit of you've been having a little bit of delay there. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate it there. I think he's catching up. There is a delay there. I want to welcome everybody and say hello to the Rev Andrew. And yes, good evening, Dan. Thank you for joining us tonight out there. Speaking of joining us, let's go ahead all the way from the UK, the Candyman himself, bringing us a sweet British perspective. Mark Robinson, how you doing, Mark? Thank you for joining.
I'm doing good. It was amazing that we've got 20,000.
I know, this is insane.
So I just saw the notice that the audience can ask us any question. Is that correct?
Within reason. They can ask us anything.
I've got a get out of jail card just in case I need one.
Nice. You're definitely needing it out there.
So yeah, no, I'm doing fine. Just watching Doctor Who videos on recap and on BBC iPlayer.
Oh, okay.
Just chilling out and relaxing and just plodding along as you do with a sweet British perspective.
And other folks, I'll ask Tom as well there. Other folks, if you want to put in the chat, what are you doing in the meantime between now and the new series? What things are you geeking out and watching, Tom? I think he's frozen.
I can't believe, talking about that, I just can't believe I literally binge watched the first part of Cobra Kai. And as soon as it came out, whatever time it dropped, I completed it within 3.5 hours the first part. I was just like, yeah.
Cool beans, brother. Speaking of cool beans, let me go ahead and bring in our special guest all the way from Galaxy Con. He will be performing on this weekend at Galaxy Con Raleigh from July 25th to July 28th. He's the man I call the voice of Galaxy Con out there, and he is a wonderful dude, and he was one of my best friends out there. It is Mr. Patty Hawkins. How you doing there, sir?
Oh, hey,
What do you got there? What do you have there? Wait, where did that
go? Nothing.
Toys.
Nothing.
No, sir, I didn't see you playing with your toys again.
No, just just a little classic Power Man action because I just got the 2-pack of Marvel Legends with the classic Iron Fist, but that version came with a modern Luke Cage, and being the old man that I am, I want the original Heroes for Hire, stuff like that. And Super 7 is doing a remarkable job of putting out some fantastic Mars Attacks figures. And before anybody starts making act jokes, the movie was terrible. The original cards are fantastic. So, yeah, I'm a purist like that. And for those of you who are wondering why I look familiar, I'm the guy standing next to Jodie when she's holding the Traveling TARDIS. That was me.
God, I forgot about that. Let's see if I can find that picture out there. Tom is still frozen. So he says he'll be back. So we'll take his word. We'll give him a break there and bring him back on.
The internet is a fickle beast.
It's a horrible beast, especially now with whatever that Microsoft thing was or whatever has been going on. Security patch. I don't know anybody who has not been unscathed by its terror out there. Roger says it's like one of those Newcaster things with Tom, aka the Reverend Amagon, and Andrew wants to congratulate us on the massive sub count out there. Now, tonight we're just going to be talking about more of the GalaxyCon and Patty Hawkins out here. Also, we're going to be doing some best of stuff out there and Gadget. Now, I never really give much credit where credit is due with Gadget and Mark Robinson because both of them, helm, are the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS website out there. And let me go find it out here. Yeah, you go. The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.com. Please visit this. Check it out. They do a wonderful job, and they're always constantly updating it. So thank you so much, Gadget and Mark, for doing that out there. You can check out the website. I'll put it in the chats as well. And Gadget could not be here in her physical presence, but she did send a message for all of us, and I'm going to play it right now. Where is it, Gadget? missing it. There we go.
Hey guys, it's Gadget Pendragon. I am so sorry I'm not on live with you guys and everything, but congratulations to Christian and everyone at the Legendary Traveling TARDIS for 20,000 views, and I hope we get another 20,000 more. I'm sorry I can't be there and only see you guys at the conventions, but due to situations, I am working behind the scenes with the Legendary Traveling TARDIS, so don't be afraid to come up to me or anything at these conventions when you see the TARDIS, because we need new companions, and you can be the next one. Have a great day, guys, and congrats, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You did it. Bye.
Thank you so much, Gadget. And we want to congratulate you for taking care of our website with Mark Robinson. And don't forget to follow. If you follow Gadget, she has a tendency to visit New York Comic-Con, as well as Elihu in that area where she lives out there. Tom, are you back? He's a poor guy. His eyes just went wonky, just for a little bit out there. Okay. Well, keep an eye on Tom and make sure if he's got anything to say. We definitely want to bring him up out there, but he's there. He's with in our hearts. So we're going to be going over some of the best of clips, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and talk to Mr. Well, I call you the voice of Galaxy Combat, but
I'm
wrong?
I call myself the fuzzy dice that hangs from the rearview mirror.
Okay.
That's kind of been my thing. I've been I was when we were all locked down, I was hosting GalaxyCon Live, which was a tremendous experience, and I wish we could have it back without the horrible disease and the paranoia and the world going upside down for 2 years or so. But GalaxyCon is back in business. We're back. We've expanded the brand. We're going to do over 20 shows, physical shows, next year nationally. We got the standard GalaxyCon brand, which is your standard Comic-Con, which is multi-spectrums, multi-fandoms, things like that. And this year we've gone into doing sub-shows as well, too. We're doing Animate, which is focused on animate and Western-style animation. And we're doing a horror-themed convention chain called Nightmare. So I'm going to be pretty busy for most of the weekend. Starting in 2025, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on a lot of weekends. Yeah, Des Moines is the next Nightmare. Des Moines is actually a dual show. We're doing half and half. We're actually advertising as two different shows, but it's the same place right next to each other. It's Nightmare Weekend Des Moines, and it's also Animate Des Moines. By the way, Des Moines has the strangest, most interesting state capital I've ever been in my life. It's like I imagine a real life Hogwarts.
Really?
I kid you not. I kid you not. From a distance, it looks like one of the castles you'd see in the matte paintings, the original Star Trek. And as you get closer to it and you go inside, and the crazy thing is, nothing was in session. So I sat in the governor's chair in her cabinet office. And nobody stopped me. Just sort of walked out.
Flying the carpet. I mean, flying. What is it? What are those things? The flying brooms. I'm sorry, out there. And tell us a little bit about Animate.
We just did Animate this past weekend up in Columbus. We're on a 6-month cycle there. So in December we do Animate. We do GalaxyCon Columbus. That's when I got a chance to first host Jody, and you were kind enough to loan me the Traveling TARDIS, so I can make sure I get that picture with her with it. And that was her first American convention appearance. That was just herself. She had done junket stuff for San Diego Comic-Con and stuff like that. But I got to be her first host for her very first traditional convention Q&A. And I got to tell you something. She was an absolute delight. She was absolute sweetheart. She's wonderful. And I am so glad that she's doing exactly what I said on stage. I said, I just want to say, I hope you get a chance to return to the character, because I would love to see your Doctor under alternate creative direction.
And not only that, she's going to be.
And a lot of people later on told me, it's like, I see what you did there. I'm like, oh yeah, I meant it. And to be totally honest, I think she kind of knew what I meant too, and kind of agreed. But now she's at Big Finish.
She is.
She just announced she's doing Big Finish stuff, and I'm rooting for her. I'm absolutely rooting for her.
And I can't wait to. You know what I'm really more interested in? I know she's going to be bringing Yaz, but I want to see how her Doctor interacts with the other Doctors. I really want an Eccleston Whitaker banter going on out there.
It's so far few between, and again, we've talked this before. We talked this on that show that we were on before you did this one and stuff too. It's like, look, the potential when Doctors cross over is great, but the record just is not very good. You know, it's like, okay, I get it. That's why I say the Three Doctors is still my favorite, because it's just they bicker, they banter, and they do the thing that they never did since then, where they're like, okay, look, okay, I accept that you're B. All right, let's get this over with. Contact, and then they mind meld, and then boom, and it's like, okay, all right, it's a good plan. Let's do this and let's do that. And they never revisited that. And that would have with Jodie and the fugitive doctor, that would have solved a lot of useless exposition. And speaking of, when are we going to see the fugitive doctor again?
But the strange part about it is they did the contact, but it was Dr. Master, and I thought that's really odd. I'm just like, okay, you could have talked to the Master anytime between now and then. It's just like you had it. Exactly.
I know. It's and I know we don't want to get too much of the nerdy weeds. You and I have done this discussion before, but basically this. Canon, I tell everybody, it doesn't matter if it's Doctor Who, comics, Star Wars, Star Trek, you've got to understand that we care far more for the canon than the people who own the IP. And we just got to roll with it. Curiously enough, I saw Jonathan Frakes just gave a talk about this, where he said that he would point stuff out. He would say, hey, look, guys, I know it doesn't work like this. And I'm not saying it's offensive to me, but they're going to call you out on it. And then sometimes they'll be, oh, really? And they'll go and they'll look it up. Okay, change it to this or change it to this. And then sometimes they're like, just let it, just keep it as it is. So, yeah.
I know. We grew up with it, and it's so hard when the next generation takes over and just like, okay, here you go. But this, be careful.
But I will say this much though, you know me, I've had a chance to work with several doctor actors, and I've enjoyed the experience with all of them, and looking forward to getting a chance to do with our latest doc eventually. He'll get there.
Okay, I got to say it. Who's your favorite doctor that you have interviewed? Ooh, I get you hard on that one.
It might be a tie. Because,
okay. I'll take it. I know you've done it.
Do you need this guy? Do you want that?
Yes.
I think I had a really good time with Christopher. And what happened on that was he actually went to my boss and he said, like, every time I come back here, I want this guy. Most of it because, again, one, I didn't harp on Doctor Who. Actually, again, I this is what I do. If you ever see me do it, because I talk about them. I talk about them and their work as actors. I don't necessarily talk to the Doctor in the canon, and I had no interest in revisiting why. And I even told the audience, he's already said why he's left, and we're not going to go there. We're just going to talk about the stuff that we like and stuff we enjoy. And I asked about music. Turned out he's a huge Patrick McGowan fan. So am I. He did not know Patrick McGowan was an American. And I was like, yeah, he was born in Queens. I mean, he was, no, why? Really? Wow. Yeah. So I had a wonderful time with him. So it's a tie. That with the third time I sat with Tennant, which was when I brought a fan. He mentioned, like, oh, I just did a photo shoot for a new cardboard life-size cutout. Those old ones. And one of the girls in the audience actually had one of the old ones. So I brought her up to the stage with that, and he hammed up and he flew up there and he matched the pose, and the crowd loved it and the whole 9 yards. We just had a blast with it. And backstage, David just said, like, hey, thank you, man, for letting me do it. It's like, Patty, I trust you. I can't say that for most of the other moderators I've had, but I trust you, mate. You're really good. It's like, I was like, That's when I fangirl out. It's when I'm backstage when they're all like, oh, I had a great job. So.
Was there a moment when you interview? First, let me ask this. And if you have any questions for Patty, please do put them in the chats out there. Again, he is the voice. I call him the voice of GalaxyCon. What would you define?
That's a little too possessive.
Okay.
The voice of GalaxyCon is that department. And that seems to imply that it's all. I mean, I'm always the first person to say, no, I am not the only host. We have got a great hosting team, we've got a great management team. We're diversifying out and all sorts of virtual stuff. So, I don't like to say, I'm the guy. Yeah.
There we go.
She was one of them. She totally geeked out because we're both wearing white sneakers with rainbow laces.
Nice.
And I've been doing that for about a year and a half now. And then we were just chatting for a bit, and that so broke the ice. I was like, oh my god! It was like, what? So I got a picture of just our feet. I need to put that up. But no, she was absolutely lovely. She really is, and it breaks my heart because she deserved better. She deserved better. And like I've always said before, it's like there are no bad doctors. We've had bad scripts, but we have had no bad doctors.
There she is.
Yeah.
And there's the rainbow laces out there.
Yes. You know, and why do I wear rainbow laces? To let everybody know that whatever you are, as long as you come in peace, I'm on your side.
Well, speaking of coming in peace, I have a horrible segue, and everybody knows it. So we're going to play our first run. We're going to play our first video out there. This is sponsored by the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS YouTube channel, where you can find out. We have a section called Bits of the TARDIS, which were just bits of episodes that you can check out for yourselves. But one of our favorites is our interview with Sophia Myles. Sophia Myles. I've been corrected. I've been having a 10-year mistake on the other interpretation of that name. So everybody, the correct way to say her name is Sophia. I've been corrected, and I've corrected my 10-year mistake. So I apologize to Sophia about this. And I want to welcome everyone to a special edition of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Thank you so much for joining us. My name, again, is Christian Basil. Oh, God. I put the wrong face on there. And how are you doing there, Mackenzie?
I'm doing well, except that my camera does.
Oh, my God. This is the greatest episode so far.
By some definition.
Well,
Sophia, we're actually professional.
It's fine.
Oh, Lord.
Don't worry.
Well, let's see if Mackenzie straightens out there. Speaking of straightening out, let me go ahead and bring in Dave Chapman.
Oh, my God. Back
How are you doing there?
I'm doing fabulously. My camera keeps cutting in and out too, but I figure I'm taking advantage of in Las Vegas.
Yeah, let's see this is Vegas.
So,
Oh, wow.
Get out of the way. Let's see this background thing. Get that chair out of the way. Oh my goodness, that is lovely.
How hot?
Yeah,
how hot is it?
Nobody wants to see me. They can look at that.
And back to Mackenzie Floor. This is when she's not frozen like a popsicle stick. There you go. That's what. Speaking of things, because you know my segue skills, the lovely Melanie Dean, co-host of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You can check out her Instagram.
But that's what happened. I don't know. It's probably
cat.
feline. I'm guessing, but yeah, my nice.
Oh my goodness.
What on earth?
Very chewy.
Yeah, so that's why I jumped in and I'm like, I can't.
But I've realized, like, the tooth fairy, when I was a kid, kind of brought like 10 pence, 10p.
Right.
And I gave him a £5 note under his pillow. Like,
Oh wow.
Inflation.
that's like,
Inflation.
yeah. But no, he's really well, really, really well. Thank you for asking.
No problem. Oh, I saw you playing Nerf gun on your Twitter feed with
Yeah.
Luke.
We had a bit of a Nerf
There you
war
go.
battle outside.
Philip
I
Davis says,
oh yeah, has Sophia suffered any Nerf strikes? No, but he does always like aim for my head. He takes great delight in that. Yeah. And like with me, he's like, "Mummy, you're only allowed to aim below my knees," and then I'm like blasted in the head. But no, I grew up with a younger brother who was Oliver, who was 3 years younger, and I was very much like a tomboy when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, like, I'm much more comfortable playing like boys games than like I wouldn't be very good playing with Barbies if I had a little girl. I never owned one. I thought they were disgusting creatures, Barbies. I didn't understand them at all.
Oh no.
Really? What were your favorite? What was
So
your
I'm just
favorite?
reading the quote. Was the tooth lost because of your Nerf battle? No. It just,
Everybody's watching your Nerf battle. Actually follows Sophia.
And he would have been thrilled, by the way, because whenever I used to make movies when I was younger and I'd go and do press and interviews, you know, I'd come home and he'd be like, you know, did you mention me? And I was like, of course I didn't mention you. Like, you got what? Why would I mention you? And then bizarrely though, when he died, so CBS News picked up on the story, I think, because I'd been on Twitter, and then also the big English news channels. And so my dad suddenly became like globally famous from dying of COVID, you know. So he kind of he got his wish, you know. He suddenly had his, you know, his moment in the spotlight. So it did make me smile.
That moment where you just look up and go, "See, are you happy now?"
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "You did it! Eventually, you did it. They're all talking about you now."
The lovely Madame de Pompadour. I gotta ask, were you a Whovian before you got this role?
No. No, I mean...
All right, that's it. We're getting rid of her.
I am now, though. I am now.
That's okay. We can solve this too.
Yeah, we can just not...
Ta-da! See, that's that problem. All right, bye.
No, I did it. It was on the television. So yeah, but then I did take much delight, you know, with these girls that bullied me at school. When I was about 19, I got offered a role to play Johnny Depp's wife in the movie From Hell. And I remember at the moment that I was kissing him thinking, I hope you're watching now.
Our chats, when we return, we're going to be talking about Sophia, more of her career, and I'm only trying to find that button again. On the button. We're professional. Trust me on this. When we return, we're going to talk more Sophia. And for those who are just joining us, welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling
I was almost asleep.
We have another commercial for eating a cookie. It's good. It's a half-pound cookie, and it's s'mores flavored. It's s'mores. I thought we had another.
Oh,
I've had so much fun editing this down to a bits episode. Oh my!
I'm so sorry.
My name is Christian Basil. That's Sophia Miles. Melanie's really hungry.
It's delicious. It's graham cracker and chocolate.
By the way, Melina, we just go
nice.
Melina, thank you for joining us. There's Mackenzie Floor and Dave from TheRatHole.ca. I know we got a ton of questions. Make fun of her all you want, but this is why Melanie gets sent candy care packages. She's great advertising. Kevo,
going through this. Dave, is it dark out there yet? Is it Vegas dark? No.
Wow. Please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. Where is that?
Why do you have a candle up to your head?
Well, I'm going to explain, and I know it's early for Sophia. I know it's 10 days away. And I didn't have time to get a cake. So everybody in the chats, everybody sing with me. You know what I'm going to be singing. Everybody, you ready for this? Happy birthday to you.
Nobody else is singing. Wow. That's
way more fun not to.
You guys don't know the lines here, really?
So fine.
I'm sorry, I was going to say me and Melina could go in Spanish.
I can go Spanish.
Feliz cumpleaños.
That's so sweet, guys.
Birthday to you.
Oh, you've got the voices of angels.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Weeping angels.
Weeping angels.
I'm not done yet.
So, Sophia, because I couldn't get real candles, go ahead and blow out the candle virtually. Just. Absolutely. Okay. Everybody in the chats right now, wish Sophia happy birthday. I know. Oh, I still had the mics muted. There you go. I'm sorry, Patty. What was that?
No, I was wanting to. So we're back. Okay, all right.
We're back. Yes, sir. We are back with the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We have our special guest, Patty Hawkins from GalaxyCon, and we have the Candyman himself, Mark Robinson from the UK, the sweet British perspective. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, we're going to talk more about Patty. We're going to be discussing more about our best of, and a little bit of a surprise that we weren't expecting when we started the show. It just happened. Two things happened as soon as we came online. So let's go back. We're going to go to commercial break. When we return, please can be part of the legend. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to an all-new X's for Show, your premiere show for streaming media content.
A great creative team and a great concept that is years in the making.
That's certainly one of the interesting things about this as a program.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
The silliest version of every single one.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
Everybody is so even-keeled. That is a nonsense
him.
thing that you just said.
I'm not wrong. I've seen all the films.
I get what you're saying. I hate it.
It's really ugly to call out a genius on air.
Nobody screams at each other and goes,
I will fight you! Wow, what a great moment for our show.
Truly, we did it.
This would be a great jumping on point for you.
2,000 episodes in.
Every weekend and Wednesdays.
Shows no signs of stopping.
You can check the show out at X's for Show.
Come on. I mean, we've got a show, baby. Just, you gotta trust us. It's gonna be good.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Flaw, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplayer themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers! Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Now, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello, I'm Nick Briggs, and you're listening to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I said Traveling Time Lord.
Do it again. Just do it again. Just for the go. Okay. Just for the sake. Go ahead, Nick.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Briggs, and this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
It most certainly is, if Nick Briggs can even get her name right. Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and thank you for joining us. They're celebrating 20,000 YouTube subscribers. Not to mention, we also earned, we have 74,000 Facebook subscribers. So we got a lot of people in the Whoniverse, and we're really proud of it. But I did mention that there was a surprise coming up out here. Now, I did mention we got 20,000 subscribers, and at the moment we went live, these two things happened simultaneously, and I'm just excited to see this. So I can't tell you anymore that we have 20,000 YouTube subscribers, because I can only tell you we have 21,000 YouTube subscribers. Yeah, I see Mark applauding down there. And this happened right before we went live. Not only that, but this also occurred, which this amazes me, Mark. I mean, seriously, we also have 900,000 views. We're bucking up to a billion views. I'm just like, good God. As you can see, we achieved it today, the July 23rd. So I have no idea what to say. You guys like us. You really like us. That's what I'm about to say out there. And we're back with the legendary Patty Hawkins from GalaxyCon and the Candyman himself, Mark Robinson.
This thing you built is more worthy of legend than me just being, it's like the guy on stage that usually everybody hates because I'm the one that says, "I'm very sorry, Mr. Shatner has to go back to his table now."
Yeah, I would love to say, hey, I'm on stage with Jody and my TARDIS is there. So we got something going on out here. And speaking of something going on,
I wouldn't be where I am today if it had not been for you. If you had not gotten me into that show we were on before you did this, I wouldn't be here. So any success I have is largely due to you. And that's why I love you, bro. Yeah, that's why you need me for anything for this. I'm always going to be there.
I appreciate it, brother. I know you've been there since, whenever things started. And when I came over here, I was all nervous and you just said, go for it. And here it is. We are here. We got a spectacular panel. They're taking some time off. I know Melanie's going to San Diego Comic-Con. You can check her out there. Don't forget to say hi to her and Traveling TARDIS out there. Speaking of podcasts, this is the second year that's happened. Patty, did you know there's actually a podcast day for Doctor Who on August 9th? And this will be the second year that this podcast day will be taking place. We're still getting more information about it. But last year we had a bunch of Doctor Who hosts go on one podcast, which was done by the Type 40 team. And we just had a blast. It was just a bunch of guys geeking out that run their own podcasts. We just had a great time. And if we do it again, I'm really excited. Now, I need an explanation on this. There we go. You sent me this. I was just curious as to why you sent me this. I just love it, too. Always see humans seeing patterns, seeing things that aren't there. I love that line from Doctor Who.
Wait, I sent you this?
I think you did, yeah.
No.
No?
It wasn't me.
Okay, I'm getting random pictures from people, I guess. Well, I do. It's one of my favorite lines from Doctor Who out there. And speaking of lines, please, if you are in the chats, if you have any questions for Patty, the Candyman, or myself, it's Ask Us Anything today.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Everything I ask this, and this is for audience. You make yourself your favorite sandwich. You get a packet of chips or crisps, depends which way it's from. If you decide upon it's crisps. If it's Christian side upon it's chips. Same thing. Do you put your chips in your sandwich or do you leave them out?
Okay, Patty.
I put my chips in the sandwich.
He puts his chips in the sandwich. Patty? In or out?
American potato chips go separate. I will do something that's close to it, though. I'll take potato sticks, and if I have them available, I will put them on a hot dog.
Gotcha.
Comic show and interviewing Doctor Who actors at GalaxyCon. Because Roger, I'm screaming on the inside. Well, actually. Oh, if I'm gonna be honest, here's the funny bit.
Yeah.
And this is something that is apparel. Whenever somebody sort of really brand new kind of comes on into this, I have to caution them. And like I brought in a buddy of mine several years ago, another Disney actor, buddy of mine, and I put up with Kevin Conroy, and he spent too much time with Kevin Conroy because he was geeking out. And I said it was okay though. I went up and I said, okay, go to the audience questions. And yeah, it's like you got to kind of get it out of your system. You got to get it out of your system, and because it is the job and it is work that you're doing, and your job is to be the host. Your job at a convention Q&A is really, it's not so much an interview as much as an infomercial. It's like, how can I have everybody get the most fun and get them to go back to the table and buy an autograph or buy a picture with them? That's the core thing of it. It's just, and how can everybody have a good time and just have that sort of moment. So the last time I truly was like losing my mind was when first time I hosted William Shatner on the GalaxyCon Live, because I was scared out of my wits because he doesn't use hosts or moderators. You introduce him And then he comes from stage left, and you are told to exit stage right. Like, don't even try to be slick and try to get in a high five or a handshake or none of that stuff. It's like, you go back and forth. And that first one, he tested me that first one. And, but I kind of passed. Basically, in a short version, metaphorically, it's like he kind of punched me in the shoulder to see if I would flinch. And I did, but then I made a joke about it, and then that amused him. And since then, sometimes he'll need a host if he's having some hearing issues and stuff, and I will sit with him. But most of the time I introduce him and stuff like that. And I've gotten to be his handler a couple of times. So, yeah, if 20 years ago you had told me that that I would have William Shatner's phone number and that my number would be in his phone, I would have said, no, it wouldn't have happened. But here we are, you know.
So, do you text each other and just say, hey?
No. I have one voicemail from him that I will save forever, which is, Patty, it's been, well, I'll play it for you.
Okay, cool.
But long story short, the question is that with all of them, it is my job, and I think I'm kind of over that hump now where I'm like, I'm excited. I'm interested. I'm always looking for the next person. This weekend, I've got several people that I have not sat with and hosted yet. I'm very excited for, or some people that maybe I just have, like I'm doing one of the Croft brothers from Sid and Marty Croft. And I'm really excited to do a one-on-one with them. So it's, it goes the way too. I think, honestly, the only person that I would actually have that same, oh my God thing would probably be Tom Baker himself.
That would be sweet.
You do get that.
And we were this close to getting him virtually for GalaxyCon Live. We were this close. My boss even threw, God bless him, he's a big Whovian too. Mike Broder, owner of GalaxyCon. He's a big Whovian too, and he literally just said, well, they want this. He said, put X amount of more money on the offer. And the person balks, like, what? You want to spend that much? If I don't do this for Patty, he'll never talk to me again. Go ahead and do it. He's like, I'm offering him blank amount of money for you. It's like, and I literally got sat down in front of his desk, Godfather style, and I kissed his hand, like, thank you, Godfather. Thank you. So it didn't happen, unfortunately, but still,
he's still around. That's all that matters. He's still around.
May that man live forever. I mean, he and Shatter, just about to say, Shatter's 93 years old, and he is one of the smartest, most active men I have ever encountered in my life. And he's always incredibly curious. We had lunch about a month ago, and he asked me, Patty, what is anime? And I spent and Mike Broder and I spent about 45 minutes explaining to him what anime was. And he was like, okay, I get it. So yeah.
You think with the conventions he would have come across that little line, it's kind of like
he goes, he does his thing, and that he is all about that Q&A. He's all about that Q&A where he gets up and gets to talk, and again, he doesn't need the money. He does not need the money. Mm-hmm. But he loves that. He, despite his reputation for being a bugbear and stuff like that, he really is genuinely nice, man. He is genuinely incredibly kind to his fans because he helped create convention culture with the Star Trek conventions in the early 70s. He's been doing this for so long. He is the master of giving everybody what they need. He can't give them what they want. He can't give everybody what they want, but he is the master of signing autographs. It's like, I'll slide it over. It's like, this is for Chuck. Are you Chuck? So, good to meet you, Chuck, or whatever, too. And so I was like, oh, this is for Gene. It's like, are you Gene? No, Gene's my dad. Is he not here? He was like, no, he's not feeling well. He'll put the marker down, and he'll be like, what's wrong with him? And then he'll ask him, okay, why can't he be here? Well, please give him my regards. Oh, he has that? I had a friend of mine who got that. And he will give everybody that moment as his too. As long as it's at the table, He's the one guy that when I do handle, I have to meet him at the airport, and I have to be the full Secret Service agent guy. I'll see people at the corner of my eye, and I'll intercept them. Hi, can I help you? So, well, I want to know if I can get a selfie with. Or you could do that at the convention. We're at the Rhode Island Comic-Con, and we're appearing there this weekend. So come on down the show, and I'm more glad that option be available to you. Blah blah blah. Because the thing especially about Shatner is, and I know it's a Doctor Who show, but the thing about Shatner is that, and this is absolutely genuine. if people came up to him wanting to just get an autograph or a selfie, he probably would do it. But everybody wants to come up to him and pour their hearts out to him about how important he is to them and what the big deal is and how important is everything else. And no human can absorb that. So he's just got to he could do it. He does it at the conventions and stuff like that. But yeah, don't go up to him in a restaurant. Don't go up to him in the airport. And he's always in the airport. So he's always flying somewhere because he's got to keep his shields up because he has to. Otherwise, everybody will just want a piece of him constantly.
Gotcha. Just continue on with the question because a lot of people actually responded. Gadget says both. And Dan says, I'm an opinion that potato chips are side dishes. Hello, Edward. He's congratulating us on our count. So are French fries, Dan? And
this is a problem with translation between British and American. Right. Okay. So
not our fault.
Go ahead.
I thought we have different types of chips, and we're talking about French fries. We don't just have the skinny little French fries. We have curly fries. We have crinkle cut chips. We have steakhouse chips. Then we have French fries, and then we have all sorts of different. And these are all just one potato, and that's not even talking about actual crisps you get in the packet from Lay's or Walker's.
I'm a big fan of batter dipped curly fries myself.
Yes.
Now we do have one sandwich here in the United States that it's not the room. What is it? It's the one. It's got the fries and the sauerkraut. It's like some sandwich out of Pittsburgh.
Shawarma.
No, it's not that.
No,
not shawarma.
No, not shawarma.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
It's an American concoction.
It's mainly north.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
what's his name? Valar.
The problem. I think the challenge putting the chips on it, you got to do it yourself. You can't order it like that because if you have any sort of condiments on it, they'll soak through, and the mayonnaise and mustard or Thousand Island, whatever you put on it, it's gonna go bleh. Unless they're like kettle chips, they'll buy you an extra 3 minutes.
See, that's the difference because in the UK we butter. Some people like having butter the bread.
Oh, right.
Okay, butter the bread. Put chips in it, right? These are French fries, and add the condiments and squish it again, and that's a chip patty.
See, for me, it's not the chips. It's got to be the sandwich. There's only certain sandwiches that I'm going to work with, and Jersey Mike's, and there's only two types of chips, and I'm probably going to lose subscribers now for this one. The Lay's and the Baked Lay's. Either one of those is fine. And Cool Ranch Doritos. And there's a sandwich at Jersey Mike's. I can't think of it, but it's got like all the meats and stuff. And the cold cut trio over at Subway. And I put chips in those if that's the case. Otherwise, I might even get like the chocolate chip because their cookies are awesome out there. Hey, Jim, how you doing? More on you for Patty. I'm surprised Shatner's been to space at his advanced age, guys. What do you think about the captain being in actual space?
He loved it. He's more than happy to answer the same question that he's said several times about it. My favorite story about him was 6 months after he did the spacewalk. I did a virtual event with him, and I hadn't seen him since then. I literally, in our little pre-chat, I was like, "So, Bill, it's been a couple months since we shot it. We haven't talked. You did the space thing. Do you want to talk about that?" He was like, "Patty, that was months ago. I just did an event with Ben Folds at the Kennedy Center, and that's so indicative of him. And I think that's what's keeping him going with the longevity, where he is all about whatever he just did or whatever he's about to do next. It's like the space thing was already just no, that was 6 months ago. That was seriously, he was really like that, you know. Now, again, if you see him live at a Q&A, he is more than happy to talk about how he thought the fragility of Earth from above and everything else. How he thought it was a profound experience. But he just wanted to keep on going. You know, like I said, 93. If you saw, I don't know if anybody watches real time, but when he was on Bill Maher a few weeks ago, publishing the documentary, he was absolutely hysterical and he killed. And Bill Maher, which I watch, but we agree he doesn't like very much. He was in awe of Shatner. He was like begging Shatner to go on a tour with him.
God. I just like the fact that William Shatner is looking. Yeah, that space was just a week, weeks ago. I'm just like,
oh yeah, they were talking
up there.
They were talking about the president's current age and blah blah blah. And Shatner was just like, be very careful when you talk about age when I'm here. And he has this thing where he sort of crosses his hands and holds close to his chest. That's how you can tell he's very comfortable. He's like,
Well, folks, we're doing more best stuff, and this one we're going to give to Paul McGann. More bets.
Our buddy Paul.
Yes. Hello, fellow Whovians. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and I have a question for you. Is there a doctor in the house?
I'm a doctor, and the one you were expecting. This is Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor. This is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, the 100th episode.
But you're not here for the 5 of us. You're here for this gentleman right here, the wonderful and talented, the 8th Doctor. You know him so well. I know him as that guy that fought the 3 Musketeers in that Disney film. Mr. Paul McGann. Mr. Paul McGann, welcome aboard there. How you doing there? Welcome to the show.
It ain't so early for me. It's kind of lunchtime here. I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah. Sorry to get you all up so early.
No, this is an honor. I know the 5-hour difference.
I tell you, it's an honor to be on the 100th episode.
But you've been appearing a lot on social medias now. How does that feel? At least it gives you the outlet, Paul, to interact with people you haven't talked to in a long time. Because I saw you on GalaxyCon, and you were hosted by. Good morning, Blue Bonnet Whovian. You were hosted by my friend Patty Hawkins, who's actually a friend of mine down here in Florida. And I
always imagine everybody knows each other anyway. Everyone in North America knows each other. I was.
Do you think that's something that you would consider going on to if for a while we have to continue to stay locked down?
Permesso.
That was an important call too.
Let me just get rid.
No, that's fine then.
Oh, he's disappeared.
You're alive.
He's back.
There he is.
I can guarantee you that won't have been my agent.
Oh,
with work. He says in a downbeat way. What we're talking about, the online conventions, I'm really glad of them. And who wouldn't be? They've and as I say, I think they'll certainly for the next year or two there'll be, and even when we're back traveling, I think they're here to stay. I think there's going to be, and there should be, perhaps a mixture of both. We'll certainly meet in real places, in real venues, in real rooms, but we'll also do this kind of thing. Because the technology is here. We're all getting sort of quite good at it, and it more than fills in the gap. It's really good. It's useful. I've really enjoyed it so far. I didn't think I would, and I'm glad, and I am. I like it. We need to contact each other. We need to meet, and this is a hoot. And like you say, here you are. You're doing your 100th show, and we can do this. What an age we live in. We should be thankful.
Paul, well, you can't. Paul, still can't see us, right? No,
I can hear you.
I wonder if a different browser had popped up and minimized this.
It's possible. That might be a possibility. Maybe. We can fix that a little bit later. We're actually holding up all of our merchandise, Paul McGann related in some form of fashion for all to see. Our friends Mark and Dave, they're holding up the Doctor Who books. They both have the same book. Which book is that, Dave? Mark?
That's the role-playing game. This is it was still branded as Adventures in Time and Space, but this is the 8th Doctor source book from Cubicle 7. So it's an entire game book of Paul's adventures.
Dave, Mark just went up to you. His is signed by somebody.
It's signed by Paul. Signed by Paul. So you've been continuing the 8th Doctor's adventures online. I'm sorry, not online, but in audio format in Big Finish there. What has been your most enjoyable experience with Big Finish?
Well, you mean across the years?
Yeah.
Or recently.
And you got to work with your son Jake in a couple of the
that was years back, and because that was a thrill.
Yeah.
He, and of course, and in the story, what was it? The unearthly child, wasn't it? In the story, of course, we were related, or at least it wasn't either. I'm confused myself now, but he was the grandchild.
I believe Jake plays your great-great-grandson because he's the son of Susan. Susan has a child.
Yeah.
And I won't go into it too much, but you got to listen to the audios because once the Doctor finds out he has a great-great-grandson, he's wondering if he's human or Time Lord.
And that's enough. You don't need to tell them.
No more. I'm not even going to go further than that.
That's enough. But one of the elements I like about that, even now talking about it and thinking about it, because it reminds me of the episodes I watched as a child on TV, and knowing that the Doctor had a family. There were relations, and they spoke of them, and I kind of like that. It's because it's not something that's emphasized much these days, but
right.
So it was a kind of throwback, and I like that. And of course, Jake was there in his first gig as an actor, and he was wonderful. He was wonderful, but just don't tell him I said so, because he gets
Mum's the word on that one.
A bit bashful, but no, I love that. But so that was a real highlight. I think as well, what you just said about spoiling stories that we made, say, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's possible because, I noticed, particularly after the few years back when the 50th anniversary film went out, around that time, because it was around this time of year, wasn't it? October, November. And that's when there was a real boom, a real pickup, particularly in North America, with the Big Finish audios. It was almost as if a collective penny dropped, and suddenly people really got into them. Of course, there's such a backlog that, as you've just described, there are people still. And I know when we meet, often fans go, "Well, given that there's 20 odd years of it, where do I start? Where would you start? Would you start in the middle? Would you go back to the beginning? Would you?" And some people they're trying to go from, 2001, 2002. And I mean, when you think I personally, we all do them. Personally, I've done 200 plus, so there's quite a few to choose from.
Technically, you're the longest running serving Doctor, even out doing Tom Baker now. Just for the audio.
Is that right?
On the audios, I think somebody had mentioned that you had done more stories than any other Doctor.
I'll take that.
Just how much content is out there.
I don't think I'll ever stop doing the audio work because it's and particularly where the Eighth Doctor is concerned. That's where he lives. He doesn't. Well, sure, it'd be wonderful if at the behest of Jodie Whittaker, particularly, I was able to certainly be invited back and join in. That would be fantastic. I'd drop everything, but it would be great to be back on screen. But when you think the Eighth, aggregately, I've been on screen as the Eighth Doctor for about 2 hours. That's it.
An
hour and a half. That's it.
A question,
but all of these, the Eighth Doctor really is it's an audio Doctor. Really, now it's just worked out that way. Like I said, we start a new box set in a few weeks, so it goes on. We carry on. Incidentally, I was going to tell you the title of the next box set, and it's called "The End of the Beginning." That's a good title.
Yep.
The End of the Beginning. What does that mean? Anything to you? If you hear that phrase, "The End of the Beginning," what does it make you think of? The reason I ask is because in England, it usually makes people think of Winston Churchill. Now, the Allies, including the United States, who are now in the war, win their first decisive battles against the Axis, blah. Churchill says to the British people on a radio broadcast, he's while he's glad to announce the first victory of the whole war against the Axis powers, he says, "Don't think that it's the beginning of the end, but the end of the beginning." This is where it comes from.
Okay.
There you go, for you history buffs out there. So, like I say, we tend to get everything through a sort of Churchillian funnel here. I'm just saying. Love to everybody. Stay safe.
Yes.
They're the only words that matter. Stay safe. Look after each other, and till we meet again properly, which I look forward to enormously. And one day this will be over, and we can hopefully laugh about most of these days. But I look forward to that immensely. But in the meantime, honestly, stay safe. One love. Mwah.
It helps if I release the microphone locks. And that was Paul McGann. Also, we want to. You can check those out on Bits of the TARDIS. There are a ton more on our YouTube channel. This whole episode was brought to you by our YouTube channel, and thank you for getting us to 21,000. Patty, I can't even dream of that number. I'm just like,
where's Paul McGann's television miniseries?
Exactly.
Andrew Morris was Andrew Morris was asked for it. Just for a moment there, Patty, when we just came back alive, you was making the cigar. It reminded me of Sidney Newman.
No, obviously, yeah. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't this kind of alluded to that this may have been on the table that that with the new Disney deal, maybe we might be seeing some Lost Adventures? And my only fear about a Paul McGann is that I was scared. I'm still scared that if it does happen, that it's going to be frittity flooping time war. And I'm like, no, just give me some adventures. Just give me adventures with him. Just show me how he went from his pilot look to his leather look, and just have some straight up adventures, and have John Pertwee's son play John Pertwee's doctor.
There you go.
Episodes.
Oh my God! I just Ramona says you met him 12 years ago at Icon in New York.
Can we answer Tim Cutter's question? Because that's quite interesting.
Sure. Let me get to Jim's, and then I'm going to pull in Tim's. Yep. Jim, it's not a video on YouTube. Our series started as audios, and we eventually morphed into YouTube and all the social media platforms. If the question's about our first episode, it was only a half hour long. You could probably find it on iHeartRadio or Spotify or Spreaker. But we started off as audio, and our bosses at that time were Krypton Radio. Patty, you now know them as Sci-Fi Radio. And when we did our first episode, I think it was just the day before Jodie was to premiere as the Doctor. So the first episode was our predictions of what we thought was going to happen. And at the end of the episode, Gene was there, I think, or at least he was in the area. And I asked Gene, he goes, what do you think? He said, 30 minutes is not enough, dude. So we expanded to 45 minutes at the time. So if you go on iHeartRadio or Spreaker or Spotify, you should be able to find our audios, which started back in 5 years ago. This October, I think, will be our 5th or 6th year in podcasting out there. So, Mark, let's go and bring up Tim's opinion. Do you think classic Doctor Who is better than new Doctor Who? Don't get wrong. I love watching current Doctor Who. Yours, Tim.
I think, it just depends on what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're looking for quick fire stories, loads of special effects, and it's like each episode has an ending, but New Who, of course. Because New Who was designed for one episode, one story, with an undertone of a art throughout the series.
Yeah.
The problem you get with classic Who, to today's standards, the special effects weren't great. The storylines were more written, but it was at a slow pace. It was more of a mystery. So it depends on what sort of style you like. I personally like certain episodes of classic Who, and I like certain episodes of New Who. And then again, there's certain things I really don't like about classic Who, and certain things I don't like about New Who. So it's always a thing which you can mix and match. The only problem I would say about classic Who, if you want, because they didn't do them as a series, they did it as a season. Mm-hmm. So you had about 3 or 4 stories per season over 4 or 5 episodes. So you have to be in the long game for classic Who. rather than New Who, which you can just watch it within 40 minutes of now, one episode, and that was constantly done. So that's my point of view. Which one do I think is better? Plus or minus on both.
Gotcha out there. Patty, your opinion. What's better?
It's Doctor Who is like a Pokemon that has evolved through several stages.
It's true.
A lot of people prefer Squirtle, but you know, you could argue Blastoise is bigger and more powerful and stuff like that. Okay, do you think the classic is better than new Doctor Who? I think that is absolutely subjective. But I've always said this. I believe that when people come on into it, you do tend to imprint on whatever you're immediately exposed to. Mm-hmm. And Christian, you know, I even talked about this in my Geek stand-up back when I used to do that, about how you imprint on your first Doctor, traditionally, and then you kind of disdain the Doctor that comes after. We say it was very, very volatile during, you know, the David Tennant and Matt Smith time. That was total taste great, less filling action going on, which was it was fun. It never crossed the lines too bad, but it was amusing to watch. It's like, oh, you summer children, you're going through your first change. I get it too. I had antipathy to Peter Davison because he took away my beloved Tom Baker, but I get after a while. But then if you still stick around, and then that doctor, whoever replaces that doctor, you get into it. You're like, okay, this is part and parcel. This is for the course and stuff like that. Now, I enjoy them for different things. Like Candyman said, it's different formats. It's different stuff going on. And it depends on the mood. It absolutely just depends on the mood. As long as Horns of the Nymon exists, I could never say that classic Doctor Who is better than modern Who. And as long as, you know, I won't even say it. As long as that one particular actor played a recurring character that I thoroughly enjoyed, I would never say that that new Doctor Who is better than classic Doctor Who. It really is in the eye of the beholder. I just encourage everybody, like I've always said, try it. Don't feel indebted that you've got to like the whole thing from start to finish, because we are talking about an incredibly, radically different media product. You know, you go from Hartnell and everything on else too, and all I ever say is try to give everything a fair shake, but don't force yourself. It's okay to walk away for a bit, and then if there's something changes, come on back to it. You know, that's what it is. You know,
I thought I've told this story about 1 billion times, but it's fine if it's anybody's first time. I wrote an article for DRes.com, which was is owned by Clownfish TV, and the title of that article was "I love Matt Smith. He's my favorite third Doctor," and that was actually a quote that a kid told me at a convention, and it just reminded me when I was growing up. I grew up Tom Baker as well. And then one day after, you know, I truly thought, because I was just a dumb kid, I thought it all started with this guy being chased by a robot in a yellow car, bumbling around in this phone booth. And at the very end of the series, he falls off a tower and turns blonde. And I thought it started over. And I thought that was Doctor Who. And I said, I think there's more to this that's going on. But it never, you know, I was a dumb kid. I didn't get that. And then all of a sudden, I guess our PBS station finally got the funds that they needed and said, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going to have the 5 Doctors. And I was like, wait, what? 5 Doctors? Who is this? So finally, they got some huge funding, and then we watched Castrovalva. And I was like, okay, he's going to turn into that curly hair guy with the scarf again, isn't he? And he's ripping the scarf apart and everything. And lo and behold, I was just like, oh boy, this is not going to happen. But I had no idea that my Doctor was number 4. And there was no way you could have convinced me when I was a kid growing. And then later, as I got older, and the PBS kept buying stuff, you know, and then I got to see the second, some of the first, and some of the classic Doctors. But I can understand where that kid's coming from when he told me he's my favorite third Doctor. and in the conversation, he was just talking about, I'm just thinking about, how I was kind of gullible, but it's not my fault. It's, we didn't have the internet and stuff like that, so I didn't know any better. But at the ending, I said, okay, well, you know what? Let me tell you about my favorite Third Doctor. His name's John Pertwee. And I think that article, for me, went deep because it was to show that there is that generation gap, but it should be all inclusive to where, hey, you're not wrong, but let me show you stuff that you're going to be amazed by, because if he's your favorite Third Doctor, let me tell you about my favorite Third Doctor, and let me take you back into the past. And that was my take on things.
I've always said I don't want to be the guys. I don't want to be one of the fat guys from my first convention I went to in 1983 who are going around carrying books, actual books. And if you would use the word sci-fi around them, they would drop them in umbrage. And Harlan Olsen says sci-fi sounds like crickets having sex.
Nice.
I've always said that our generation, we need to take the role of mentors, and as opposed to the gatekeepers and stuff like that. And there was an interesting period where we're like, oh wow, hey, we got new people in this fandom, and if you remember my stand-up act, I used to talk about this is the truth. We were the lowest of the low, even in nerddom. I mean, we were mocked by the Star Trek and the Star Wars fans. We really were. And now all of a sudden, Doctor Who was on the cover of TV Guide. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And we always went up. But by the same token, this new fandom was coming on in, and they were vaguely aware of them, and they kind of they wanted to distance themselves from them. So it was all about, okay, look, this is what you need to know about the old ones. If you want to check them out, cool. I can give you some recommendations. I can tell you awful episodes not to watch. Horns of the Naimon is a bad episode that's funny. You can Mystery Science Theater that. There are some other legitimate bad ones that are just, no, that's bad. But the whole thing is that, we have to let it go that people are going to like what they're going to like. And it's just like, okay, you enjoyed it at your level. I enjoyed it mine, but we agree on what we agree upon. We all like David Tennant. Right? Right. Okay.
Which version now? It's got
are we doing about Meta Crisis, the 14th, the 10th?
I'm not talking about Doctor Who. I'm just saying is we all like David Tennant.
There we go. Speaking of which, Valor continues, and I want to welcome Valor because I think this is the first time I've seen you, Valor. So welcome, Valor Dor Harris. I hope I pronounced that right, and I apologize. I'm not great with names. But Patty, have you watched the new season? What are your thoughts?
I think Russell T Davies got what he wanted. I think there could have been a little oversight and restraint. He wanted to push the Doctor in a direction that had never been done before, and that's cool. That's absolutely cool. I have no problem. With Christian, I spoke about this earlier. I have no problem with is he the 50s, 15th, right? That's what he's called.
15th, yeah. We think now.
We think.
Who knows now? Numbering system's well out.
I think he's great. I am enjoying him. I think Russell T Davies is being a little too self-indulgent with what he wants to say, but he's got the keys to the kingdom and stuff like that. And I don't even have an issue with the 15th Doctor being homosexual. Because again, like I've always said before, this entity is not human. He is an exiled space god who's basically been LARPing as a human. It's like for a couple thousand years. And I think if you want to say yes, the 15th Doctor is homosexual, I got no problem with that. But don't tell me that other doctors might have said that way, especially when previous doctors were asexual and stuff like that. So I've been enjoying it. I think it's been doing some experimental things. I think the ride is not finished yet. I want to see more. I want to see where it goes. The greatest thing to come out of this is the canonization of the Schalke Doctor.
Oh God, and you want an episode? You told me you want an episode on that.
The owner of GalaxyCon sent me the clip, and my brain exploded. I haven't geeked out that hard over anything in quite a while. And just the whole, because I wanted him to be the War Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him to be the War Doctor. I wanted him to turn around and it would have been Alan Grant, and I think that just would have been fantastic. And we didn't get that, but now, again, if canon has been broken by the toy maker and everything is shifting, why not? Why not? And since Chibnall, you know, I always call the Morbius Doctors an unexploded continuity bomb, which should have been left alone. Well, he kicked it and it went off, and it's like, okay, well, then we might as well embrace it and have fun with it ourselves. And to me, the possible canonization of that Doctor and seeing it in Big Finish, or better yet, seeing him, you know, it's like play the character again, then it makes up for it. So I'm good. Again, it's a Whitman sampler box. You just got to eat what you know you like.
I know David Tennant was in Screamer Shulker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was. And he was also, believe it or not, there. And I want to say hello to Tina, the Naughty Dragon. Hello, Tina. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have to remind people, David Tennant was with the actual, and I still put this the first female Doctor, which was in Big Finish, Exile. I'm trying to remember her name, but she was in an episode, the wardrobe, the whatever that episode is, the wardrobe, the Doctor, the wardrobe, the whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
And she is she's in the yellow suit, but she is actually the first audio female Doctor. And I said, yeah, Jodie, I'm conceding it to her. Annabelle Weir, that's what her name was. Annabelle Weir. It took a while there.
But was she the first female Doctor, or was Joanna Lumley the first female Doctor?
I think it was Exile. I think Exile. We could look it up.
Yeah, it was
Put it in the chats. Go for it.
Yeah, anyone in the comments, find out who came first. Was it Annabelle Weir or Joanna Lumley who played the Doctor first?
And David Tennant played a Time Lord chasing the Doctor, which I thought was kind of the irony there. Lego TARDIS says, "Where is this all going?" I don't know. You're going to tell us where.
Are you asking the conversation, the show?
I don't know. Give us some details, Lego TARDIS, and we'll definitely address that. But Andrew Moore says, "I love good story characters. Do you think Doctor Who should be progressive and inclusive?" I thought they were. I truly thought they were. I stole Space God from you. I'm just letting you know. I stole. And one of the biggest geek fights that I ever had with somebody, I won't go into too much details, but she crucified me for calling him the Space God, and I said, he walks through infinity. I mean, he walks through infinity, and I said, nobody else can do that but a Space God. I said, she just got quiet. I'm just like, okay, I rest my case.
But wouldn't that be space and time?
That's true. But
that goes back to, and again, you pick your poison. To me, I prefer the every time the Doctor goes back to Gallifrey, they do a Time Lord story, it lessens it severely. Where originally, yes, they were these almost omnipotent beings from afar, from these space gods, and then like in the 50th, they're just people just like us. They just get 12 lives or something like that, and it's a run around the park like playing and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not quite down with that. But again, I don't own it, and but so I'll take the chocolate I like out of the box and I'll eat it.
I think Andrew's here on the there. Can we go back to Andrew's question?
Back to his question? Okay, sure.
Yeah. I think it's all about a good story. How characters
it's all
in.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter if you're progressive or inclusive, as long as it's a good story. And we saw it happen in, say, for example, with Buffy and Willow. Yeah. That was very, very progressive for its time of when it came out. Which was when was that? Late 90s, early 2000s?
I guess. I didn't watch it. It was girls.
Okay. No, it wasn't.
No. I can't. it just never blipped on my radar, and I had to go back and rewatch it because I've hosted several members of the cast and everything else, so it's like no,
and especially like with like John Barrowman and stuff like that, and other people. I think like Bill was written quite well, Bill Potts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it can be progressive and inclusive as long as it's a good story. The question is, what do you classify as a good story? Which is what Patty said. It's very, very subjective.
Very true. And this, I think this might be a source of disconnect between like the classic fans and the modern fans, in the sense that if a good story, maybe a good story, maybe too, but whenever they do something that maybe undoes or lessens a previous element to the show, something to that effect, that could be a rabbit turd on the pizza for us. And it's just like, okay, all right. It's just, but you're not as okay. This story negates a classic story that I'm very fond of back then, and blah blah blah, as it is too. But if you're coming in with a fresh perspective, it doesn't matter to you. And in some ways, you have the advantage. I have always said that if I grouse about stuff, don't take it personally. Because if anything, because I envy you. I envy the people that enjoy everything 100%. I wish it could be like them. Unfortunately, I'm too old and I've seen too much, and I'm allowing myself the ability to say, yeah, that kind of goes against this too. But do you like it? Have fun with it. So, and as far as progressiveness, inclusiveness, well, I am on the LGBTQ blah blah blah. I forget where I am, but I am down the list on that thing. And there's a reason why I do wear rainbow laces. But the whole fact of the matter is that it's one. There's an oddity to modern writing. I've spoken to showrunners about that. I spoke to the woman, the showrunner for Winona Earp, and she had said that when I wrote my characters, and they were very LGBT as this too, it's like it wasn't their character. It was just something on the side. They were this, and they were this, and they were this, and they happened to be this, and they happened to be this, and they happened to be this. That's why story and character have to come first. And just because you're putting a rainbow or a racial patina on it that's alternate from your standard cis white male, whatever you want to define that as too, that doesn't automatically mean it's good. It can make it great. It make it great for diversity and everything else. That's fine. But a TV show is supposed to be entertaining. So it's entertainment. It should be entertaining. Okay. And you serve your purpose to create diversity and inclusion by making it entertaining, by making it for that everybody, no matter what they are, can watch it. And if there's something, an element in that you can identify with, that you haven't had before in your life, then that's something of quality. And I think that's where it is. They're stuck in this area where they're throwing it out there too. I'm looking forward to the day when it all gets caught up. I said when I first sat with Paul McGann, the first panel I did with him live, I said, and everybody's like, because he was a big proponent of a female doctor, and I was like, he was like, oh really? No. And I was kind of right about this. It was like, my fear is about the first female doctor is that everybody's going to harp about how she's the first female doctor. What's it like being the first female doctor? What's it like? Yeah. And I joked about it with her too. I said, so all that rigmarole around it, I'm not looking forward to that. I said, however, the second female doctor, she's going to get up, put on her outfit, and she's going to go out in space fighting bug-eyed monsters. And it's not going to be all like, it's not going to be, the doctor's a woman again. It's like, oh, there's the doctor. Boom. Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. The minute I saw Gatwa, I was so excited and so amazed. He's got such great energy. He's absolutely electric. I adore him, and I just, it's like give me that one really good kick-ass story. We haven't gotten there yet, and we're going to. And again, that's not to say that the stories up now so bad, but I just feel like RTD is just. I feel like he's making up for something, and from his perspective, maybe he is. And again, he's got control of the show. Have fun with it.
Here's a question, and this is for the panel here and all the audience, we know that Romana changed different species as when she was going into her second regeneration. She tried different outfits on, basically.
Yes.
What happened if we did one season as the Doctor regenerates into a Dalek?
Like the actual squid?
Yeah, like the squid Dalek.
His outfit actually changed too, but I was like a little, so he actually turned into a Dalek?
Yeah, well, we know that the outfit does change because of what happened with the 14th Doctor.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just outside the TARDIS, and he basically generates into a squid, and then the Dalek casing goes round it.
How about this? How about this? What if we had a Doctor you had a bunch of Ventress for, and then gets zapped, is about to regenerate, but then is turned into a Cyberman? And because in the Cyberman, or they are in the Cyberman body, they can't regenerate. As long as they are trapped in the cyber body, they cannot regenerate, and they need to. So you would still have the voice of that Doctor running around, and almost like Mandalorian.
That sounds so good, but then Timeless Children just ruined it for me with the Cyber Time Lords. And I think Lego TARDIS said it best. When it comes to progressive and inclusion, when it comes to story and character, the best question, where is this all going? I think he said it best. There's
a duty, especially for science fiction and fantasy, to try to show the world as it is and how it needs to improve.
Mm-hmm.
And it should always do that.
Right. After watching Lex, I'm not sure if anyone saw it. It was a 90s sci-fi show. It only lasted one season. Nothing. It can't get much weirder storylines than Lex. That's all I'm going to say. Because Lex was just.
I knew of it. I never got a chance to catch it. It was on the radar, but it was on the faraway radar. It had its fans. I
it's just one situation where it was just like, I do want to go. If you want to watch it yourself, and just let me know what you think of it, because that's just one of the hidden gems from the 90s, which people talk about, people don't talk about it. But yeah, you get through Lex, you can get through anything.
We're gonna hit this up over here, but I just want to give a shout out to Mark Muncie of Erie, Florida. He wanted to be on, and unfortunately he can't. So check out all of his Erie travels on his YouTube channel. He also adds, I hate when they have to explain absolutely everything, like where the sonic screwdriver comes from, the Doctor got his name, etc. You don't have to fill in the blanks. And I think Andrew Cartmel said it best. There's a reason why he's called Doctor Who, and if you answer the question, the show's over. There's no point. So I mean, it totally makes sense out there. So
no, and we're seeing this a lot with the other big franchises too, where creators are coming in and they feel like this need to answer the unanswered questions. And I'm like, no, just do original stories with the blocks you got. You don't have to. This is prequels and all that stuff. It's you don't need to.
Yeah.
You don't need to. I'd rather just move forward.
Tina says, I'm bisexual, but I don't need every character to openly state their sexuality. And I always mentioned beforehand, he did it so perfectly well. He did it and encapsulated in Captain Jack Harkness. And if you want to talk about inclusion, everybody can relate to him. And it didn't matter what sexuality you had. Everybody can relate to him. He was damaged goods. He's a guy that just wants to do better. And not only that, but John Barrowman ate the screen so much and just executed it so well. He got his own spin-off, for crying out loud. And he became a lead. I'm like, I think when it comes to...
I know, Candyman, you mentioned you thought Bill was handled well. I liked the character of Bill, but I did feel like, in every episode, they always seem to have some guy hitting on her, and she'd be like, I like girls. It's like, okay, we didn't see that happen with all the other, female companions all that often, and, it's like, okay, we get it. It's good.
We're coming to the end of the show, but let me go ahead and just run real fast through the chat. Story first, character and motivation are key. So sad they've forgotten that bit out there. Sarah Jane in class episodes, he could not be doing his now. Jim says, well, Jody the 13th Doctor turned into a weeping angel. I agree with Mark. And I hear that theme of 2020 Cleopatra 2025 in my head now. Thank you, Mark. I can't get it out now. So yeah,
that was one of those like it wasn't like a Raimi one, but it was that weird period where we had all these goofy shows that were like very much like Hercules and Xena.
You know how Sid and Marty Krofft had like 3 shows together? Cleopatra 2020, or at least where I was, Cleopatra 2025 was with the show called what was it? You Don't Know Jack, or God, Jack of All Trades, and that was Bruce Campbell.
It was a Raimi one. Yeah, that was the other one. Yeah.
So
from the halls of Suba to the shores of Tripoli. That's one.
I got that song in my head. Thanks. I'm never gonna get this out of here.
Trailer from Austin Powers playing Napoleon.
I'm done.
Just before we think about, did Cleopatra 2025 came out at the same sort of time as Andromeda?
I think so. I think it's around.
It was like Farscape, Andromeda, Cleopatra 25. It was just like literally, it was a sci-fi channel just releasing anything you can watch for like a whole 2 years.
Yes, there was a very, very interesting time because it was the end of syndication stuff. So we had these markets, but it was always weird times and stuff like that. Like I remember these shows were on Sunday mornings. They were on a block from to 10 a.m. to like noonish before the sports began to roll it out. So, but yeah, those were interesting days. Who is Miss Flood? We'll probably find out next season.
Season, yes. And I found Jack of All Trades as a right. Yeah, it was. I think it was Bruce Campbell untethered. I mean, somebody just said, Bruce, do what you do best and just take it tenfold.
Well, it was Sam Raimi and Bill Tepper, the same producers as Herc and Cena. Yeah.
It was written. It was the Wilderness Years for Who so flocked over to Action Pack. There we go. We're going to make that the last chat. Patty, tell everybody where they can find you and about GalaxyCon.
Well, GalaxyCon, we're having a huge rollout 2025. GalaxyCon.com. You're going to just see like tons of stuff on there. Hopefully we are coming to an area near you. What can I say? We're planning on doing multimedia stuff, more partnerships, maybe some more GalaxyCon projects. The main thing is that my boss who is the owner, he has 2 heroes, Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum, and that's kind of like what we're going for. We're really going for just how do you take the convention model and how do you just crank it to the nth degree? And that includes like having a late night programming, Friday and Saturday nights at our shows. We have programming until 2 a.m. It's like, and not just like the burlesque type stuff either. We've got, I'm doing legitimate panels like that late and stuff like that. So the main thing is that we're fun. We really just try to be fun. We try to, we legitimately try for every show to have that same effect where you go to the Disney parks where it's like, wow, we give you an abundance of choice. So much so that you got, wow, we'll have to do that next time. I'll have to do this next time, do that next time. So as opposed to, all right, here's what we do. Or that one show, Christian, that I won't mention where we were doing a Doctor Who panel. Meanwhile, David Tennant himself was across the hallway doing a panel and we were screaming. It's like, why is anybody going to come see us talk about Doctor Who when Doctor Who himself is across the hallway?
Mark, we actually were put together with, I think, what was it? Alex Kingston, Billy Piper, and the guy who played guy with ear. I can't think of his name, either one of them. And they were doing a panel together, and they were a half hour after in our panel. Like, I think after 30 minutes we got. So Patty came up with this great idea. He said, he asked the people, if you want us to stay, we'll talk. But if you want to go to the other panel, we'll all go together with you. We're just going to end early. And then surely enough, we went single file across the convention floor, heading over to...
We brought the banner. We kind of made it like a fan
Yeah,
parade.
we made it like a little a parade. It was kind of cool.
I was going to say, I've got to choose between David Tennant or Alex Kingston and Billy Piper. That's a hard decision.
No, they were all.
No, all three of them were having a panel, and we had a panel right in the middle of it.
Oh, right.
And just said,
Okay.
We understand if you're not coming here. We
No,
totally
that was
understand.
we had to literally while we were stuff's going on, it was like, why is anybody going to see us when the real thing is like across the hall, literally across the hallways? Oh, we're sorry.
Patty.
No, it was a hard ticket event, so we did have people. It was an extra $20 to get into it, so we actually did have a couple of guys in there, as I recall. So yeah, Candyman, what you got?
Okay, so you said Galaxy Con's coming to near you. Coming to near me, please?
Coming to near me.
Near me?
Well, I did finally get my passport, so that's all I can say. You know, it's like we're joking. Oh yeah, that's year 3 plan. So maybe 27, 28, but no, we'd like to. Yeah.
Let me know if you do, and I'll see what I can do to my end.
Well, Lord knows you got so much talent over there that I know that can't make the travel from the UK to the United States, and I would love opportunities to chat with them while they're still with us.
Get your tickets to any of the Galaxy Cons out there for Riley, and
Raleigh.
possibly what's that?
Pronounced Raleigh.
Yeah, that's what I said. Raleigh.
You said rally.
Like
Get
your tickets at galaxycon.com. Well, I tried to pronounce the cities correctly, and don't forget we gave the team a day off because they well deserved it for now 21,000 subscribers there. Thank you, Patty Hawkins, and thank you, Candyman. Don't forget, sometime in the future, the next week or the following week, we will be reviewing Big Finish's Starcross. Yep, that stars Alex Kingston and Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor. That's all I need to do to advertise that, because you got it there. And don't forget to check out over at Erie Travels. Get your paranormal. I can't even talk. So, folks, thank you for joining us out there. Please stay safe. Thank you for everything, for just helping out this real fast. The September 13th through the 15th, World Golf Village Resort. This will be the first time we're out there in St. Augustine at ancientcity.com, and we will be joined by DALEKHAL out there, as well as we'll be hosting Doctor Who panels. But you got to see the main attraction, DALEKHAL. You will be out there, again, September 13th and 15th at the World Golf Village Renaissance Resort. Get your tickets now out there. That's our upcoming...
That's a very fun show, by the way.
A very fun show. It'll be our first time out there. And plus, keep an eye out, because if you live in the Central Florida area, be on the lookout that Doctor Who conventions will be returning. But we're going to keep you up to date. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us. Again, please stay safe out there. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. All 21,000 of you, and we hope to get another 21,000 of you more, because we love to entertain you. And God, we just want more. We're greedy that way. So don't forget to say goodbye on the way out there. And again, galaxycon.com. Tony, as you always do, take us out.